People just don't think about all of the nuances between growing something, turning it into a product, and then buying it and eating it. And when you talk about produce, flip time has to be spot on because it is so perishable.
Well, folks, thanks so much for joining us once again. I've got a friend from Blast from the Past, shall we say, with Justin Stevens here with us. Justin, thank you so much for joining us. That could be a mouthful, but thank you for joining us.
I am so excited to be here, Nate. I love what you do and how you're helping people all across the country.
Man, it's a treat to see. Let's see, we know each other originally from, was it $1 Billion Brotherhood? Is that where the first connection was? I've been involved in so many different men's group training and coaching. So sometimes they all blend. I'm glad we met through there. Spent much of my the last 10 years trying to figure out how to apply a lot of the principles that we learned in those kind of groups to produce, because produce is a different animal.
Yes, it is. It is a unique problem that perishables bring into the equation. Most people don't even think about.
Yeah. So recently, you have gone through some changes and career changes and whatnot, and now our paths intersect again because you're working for. Can I say the name? You're working for a grocery store, WinCo grocery store chain here in the Pacific Northwest. Where do they reach? All the way down into California?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of stores in California. We've got some in Texas, mainly in the West. We have 141 stores currently.
That's a lot of stores. And kind of the concept is not quite a regular grocery store, not quite a club grocery store, but there's a lot of bulk and a lot of that kind of stuff. How would you describe that?
Our ideal client is someone who is price conscious, don't have extra funds, and they're not looking for the top name brands. They're looking for healthy food, good food at a great price.
Yeah.
So that's what we drive.
Yeah. I know when they built the one here in Yakima, people went nuts. I mean, it was to much fanfare. So that's great. So you're not in the produce section, but you're in the grocery. And so I wanted to just get together with you, chat a little bit about your perspectives on a couple of things. We always say produce is people, and we talk about all the different hands that touch produce, but you could really say that about almost any food item. How does it get from where it's made, where it's grown, where it's planted? How does it get all the way into a package, all the way to a place where a consumer can get their hands on it and take it home? And so if we could kind of play around with that idea a little bit, and then maybe some of your insights as an individual, like somebody who's involved in the produce, whether it is as a grower or somewhere along the supply chain, how to be a better person, how to be a better employee, how to be a better promoter of all of these items and the steps. So I don't know where this is going to go, but we'll figure it out as we go. So what are your thoughts? What do you think when we talk about all the hands that are involved in getting something to the store? You have a unique perspective because you get to see the people taking it and walking out the door, right?
100%. And so in my past, I also worked for a robotics automation company.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We did a lot of conveyors and palletizers and case packers and stuff like that. So I've seen kind of the middle in the manufacturing plant, as well as at the very end, the retail side. People go grocery shopping and they can walk the aisles, grab what they need, then walk out through self-checkout without talking to anyone.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And they think, man, why is this so expensive? But they miss the fact that so many hands had to touch it, so they didn't have to talk to anyone, right?
I'm weird. I'm the other way. I go out of my way to stand in the long line and when I go to the line, I'll tell the checker, I'll say, I want you to know that I'm in this line because I value your job.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so important. People just don't think about all of the nuances between growing something, turning it into a product and then buying it and eating it. And when you talk about produce, flip time has to be spot on because it is so perishable. Like, you can't have products sit on the shelf for a week. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I love what you're doing here in promoting the produce section, is helping people understand how valuable it is to have a good partner who's on time with their shipments, who understands, hey, we need to make sure this is done right so that no one runs out of food.
Yeah, the challenges are at every level. Small C-store, they use such little volume. How do you get such small packages to a convenience store? The large multinationals, how do you handle the kind of volume and still get it to the place where it needs to get? They're two very different problems, but they're unique puzzles to solve. And, everybody has a little different way of doing it. At the end of the day, if it doesn't get done, not only does the grower miss out, but the consumer misses out on good, healthy, nutritious food. So it's a challenge either way.
Exactly.
I've often just sat and tried to think about how many families, and we could apply this to center of store stuff too, but how many families are affected by the purchase of every can of corn, or by every apple, or by every bag of carrots. You think of how many people are out in the field when they're planting that, and then how many other people are out, whether it's making sure that the irrigation and the watering and the whatever kind of fertilizer or whatever kind of chemicals, whether they're applied or not, all the checking of the certifications, make sure that it's good, clean, healthy, meets grade, all the people that are fractions of pennies per hand, if you broke it down, right, per each item, yet the livelihood of so many families.
It's so true. I think that's one thing that we miss here in America. We are so comfortable with all of our options. We can go to any store and find all these products. We have so much in America, and we forget that every expense is someone else's income.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If we want to build a great company, if you want to build a great country, you've got to get good at taking that expense and spending it as fast as possible so someone else gets the income and can go spend it as an expense.
Yeah.
The more you hoard, the harder it is to cycle money throughout the economy.
Yeah, it's true. So there's this balancing where you want to be affordable. You want to make sure that the consumer can get whatever it is, and at the same time, it's got to be priced right so that the next family can eat.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
It is so crazy. And
so I think the COVID thing really brought the kind of the spotlight on the whole supply chain, because we realize how much we rely on that. It just happens so naturally behind the scenes that we're not aware of it until some big event like COVID happened, and you go, oh my goodness, if you stop it, there's that domino effect all the way down the line.
Yeah.
As far as your role at WinCo, how much of an involvement do you have, or control, those kinds of things? Do you have any say, or is there some software that's controlling most of that? Or how does that work to make sure that you're dialed in?
That's such a great question. Is it all right if I tell you a little bit about just how WinCo works?
Go for it. Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to hear that.
So WinCo has distribution centers, and we're similar to the Costco model, which is we focus on buying in bulk to get a cheaper price so that we can pass that price on to our consumers.
Got it.
We have trucks coming in every single day, 7 days a week, holidays, everything, right? I worked on the 4th of July. It was awesome. So we have...
I bet there was a ton of people.
There were. It was a busy day. I got to dress up as Uncle Sam, which
oh, nice.
I
That's
always
great.
love that. But anyways, our distribution centers are where we collect everything. And then at the store level, we're ordering from the distribution center.
Got it.
So each organization has its own P&L, its own balance sheet that we're tracking through. And that's all within the bigger umbrella. So let's say someone listening was wanting to work with WinCo.
All right. They're not going to call the store.
They're not going to call the store. They've got to get in front of the buyers at corporate who are going to then test out a product, and maybe they'll test it out in one store. This is one thing I would encourage. If you want to get into any retail store, on the shelf is hard and a lot of work. It's easy to test your product. We do a lot of shippers. And shippers make it really easy to test a product because we're not trying to fit it in somewhere. You can take it, stand it up, let customers buy it, or they don't get it, and then you're out of luck on getting on
you
the
failed the
shelf.
test.
But maybe when it comes to working with retailers, you got to make it easy.
What are some ways that you could make it easy for a retailer?
So one, display set up to sell your product, right? It could be a cardboard.
Right.
I wish I had a picture. So I just put out, we call them shippers. I just put out a shipper last Friday, and the client, the company who put the shipper together, did not price everything the same. So if you're going to do a shipper, either have everything on it the same price or have a place for prices to, they did neither of these things.
So you're talking something that's catches your attention, pleasing to look at, that displays your, whatever it is, eggplant or whatever. And then something that'll say either so much per unit or so much per pound, or at least that white circle that it can be filled in or something. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. Make it easy, because they have a lot going on, and the easier you can make it on the retail store, the more likely they will continue buying.
So which is more important? If I'm going to do a display and all of that, there's some cost to that. And how many stores did you say you guys have? 160?
141 currently.
140 stores. Let's say on everything in all 140 stores. So now I have to have 140 different displays. So is it more important that I say, I don't do that, but I'm going to be cheaper? Or is it better to say, I do that, but there's a cost associated with that. So instead of costing $1, it's going to be $1.15 or something like that. Lower pricing better, or is convenience better?
Great question. I would say it depends on what your product is and whether or not they're already selling it. So let's take avocados. We sell avocados. We like avocados. It's a big mover in a lot of our stores. We don't need to find shelf space for avocados. We've already got
got a place.
Let's pretend you sell dragon fruit. We don't have a dragon fruit section, right?
If you do, it'll be a little small display.
And one thing I'd like to encourage people when it comes to putting together something like this, like a shipper or a display for a retail store, that's your opportunity to sell it, right? You get to decorate it, you get to design it, you get to figure out what would someone use this for. So let's take the Cinco de Mayo, and let's pretend you've got limes that you're trying to sell. Maybe you do a whole shipper around margaritas and using limes with margaritas, because the goal is you get someone who's in a shopping store, they either have something on a list they're going to check off, or they're going to see something that makes them think, I should
do that. Yeah.
And so that's the benefit of retail, is you have the foot traffic. So I look at business as two verticals. There's the physical in-person vertical, and then there's the digital vertical.
Yeah.
Like Walmart's doing a good job of integrating the two, so you can go shopping in the digital vertical and pick up in the physical vertical, right?
Yeah. My kids do that a lot.
Exactly. That happens. It's not actually that great for the store because you're losing the foot traffic.
Not walking around on the impulse buy or the whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So think about the retail store. They're already collecting your customer. Your job is to get a message in front of that customer where it could trigger the light bulb and make them go, oh, I need that.
Yeah.
I want to try that. I've heard about that, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I would encourage anyone who's in produce to be doing social media about the process of creating what it is you sell.
You're preaching my message, brother.
Good.
So many times the guys who represent the grower, right? The marketing desks or the sales desks or whatever you want to call them. And I'll go and I'll say, hey, I want to interview you or I want to talk. And they're like, oh, I don't do that. I got a face for radio or whatever. And their own personal insecurity becomes more important than the well-being of the grower they're representing. And if I'm a grower, I want you to say, I will wear the Uncle Sam uniform. I will dance in the street if that helps give a good return to the grower, right? I mean, it has to be kind of that way. And so that's interesting that you would say that social media is such an important part. Is it awkward? Is it weird? The first time I stood in front of a camera, it was so weird. Believe it or not, it's still hard for me most of the time, but you just have to kind of just grit your teeth and jump. Don't think about it. It's like jumping off the high dive.
Yep, exactly. What's the worst that can happen? Seriously.
Your kids laugh at you.
They laugh at me anyway.
That's true. Well, there we go, folks. That's really cool. We got two really good tips for growers or shippers. It says, hey, it's the attention of the consumer. Make it easy for the buyer to want to buy your product. What makes it easy is if it sells, and so you help them be a team player. We've talked this idea of continuity of purpose keeps coming up, and it's the same way. If we want to help growers and we want to help farmers, and we also want consumers to get good product, and we want shareholders to get their value, all of it requires that we work together. And so let's make each other's easier. Let's set each other up for success. I guess before we go, just real quick, Justin, what would you tell a consumer that's walking in the store? You said something that's interesting. Yes, the digital vertical is a good thing, but it also helps to make your way through the store. So maybe think about that and how you're helping growers and helping producers as they walk through the store. But maybe one other tip that a consumer ought to know when they're walking through a retail grocery store?
Great question. When it comes to a consumer in a grocery store, one of my biggest tips would be ask the employees.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
People spend all day, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, depending on the store, right? They spend so much time in the store. They can tell you exactly where things are without you needing to go walk around. But also, if you just have a conversation with them, they can give you some ideas on things to try that you never would have thought of. Exactly. And it is a community. Think about it. This is a good place to meet people. It's a good place to socialize. It's the breadbasket of America.
Yeah, that's a great tip. That's not something I've ever thought of, but you're right. It's these people that are touching the product. They're the last ones to touch it before it goes out. They know.
100% they know.
Yeah.
And it can be fun figuring it out with them, right?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great tip. Well, Justin, thank you so much for joining us. We try to keep these short, so maybe we can have you back at some other time and talk about another aspect of the view from the grocery store. But folks, you can help us by subscribing in this YouTube channel. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. If you're a grower, if you are a retailer, we want to hear from you, so comment. And you can find us on all the different platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn. I haven't seen a reason to be on Snapchat, but I suppose if we needed to, we could be there as well. In the meantime, please, like I said, subscribe. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. Justin, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for being here with us. One of these days, I'm going to run in, and maybe we could do a man on the street interview when I'm in one of your stores.
Oh, I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.